Perhaps no UFO case is more worrying than one which appears to compromise national security, and there are few places more secure than a nuclear missile launch site, like the one near Malmstrom, Montana, at which Captain Robert Salas was stationed one morning in March 1967.
Early in the morning, and I get a call from the topside flight security controller or guard, and he said that a few of the guards had been seeing some strange lights flying around in very strange ways, making very rapid movements, stopping, making very sharp turns. So I just kind of discounted it and basically hung up on him. He calls back about 5 minutes later. This time he's very agitated. He's yelling into the phone, screaming. Sir, there's a large red glowing object that's hovering right outside the front gate.
Lieutenant Salas ordered the guards to secure the perimeter, and he went to inform his commander. At this point, the warning lights in the control center went off, and the missiles shut down, one after another. What made this event even stranger, if that's possible, was the fact that the exact same thing had happened 1 week earlier at Echo Flight, approximately 25 miles away. A lengthy investigation was conducted, but no positive cause for the shutdowns was ever found, despite extensive and concentrated effort.
Missile officers are highly trained, engineering and science types for the most part. And the air police, these people go through special security schools. They have secret clearances, that sort of thing. They carry weapons. They're highly trained people. So I think it's very significant when people of this caliber make sightings. The tragedy is that we don't know all the details of the reports. They've been kept secret.
I was there for another 2 years at Maelstrom. This incident was never brought up again in any of our briefings, and we were told not to talk to anybody about it. Over the years, it became more and more clear to me that what occurred was something that can't be explained as originating from Earth.
I'm quite impressed with the Malmstrom case, not only because of the people involved, and there were quite a few people involved. It wasn't just a flyover by a flying saucer, what went by, but the impact on the equipment that was there. I mean, it's kind of scary when you think of missiles being affected by a foreign power, if you will. And remember, it's one of a number of cases around SAC bases. There was a whole wave of sightings.
Indeed. Over the past 60 years, there have been dozens of sightings in and around sensitive nuclear facilities. At least one person who was there is certain that there was a purpose.
I'm convinced that we were visited by some extraterrestrial object, and that there was not only visited, but there was a definite message. And the message was, get rid of your nuclear weapons.
What does it take to innovate? It takes persistence, testing, and dedication that's nothing short of breakthrough. You might not look at mouthwash that way, but we do. That's why we're introducing new Crest Pro Health Rinse. It kills 99% of germs that cause bad breath, plaque, and gingivitis.
Photos out there that have withstood expert analysis, the best of which come from McMinnville, Oregon, taken on May 11, 1950, by farmer Paul Trent.
By analyzing the two photos, it was possible to determine where he stood, where Mr. Trent stood when he took the two photos, to within accuracy of a foot or so. And so if you imagine looking down from above, you can plot where he was standing and where the sighting lines went out. And they said that this object moved to the left, moved southward as they're looking towards the west. It moved slightly between pictures. And in fact, he was standing in one location for the first photo, looking, let's say, this way, and then he moved a little bit to the north. As this object was traveling along, he didn't want it to get blocked by the nearby garage, so he moved a little bit to his right, and then he looked and took a photo that was in this way, and the sighting lines crossed. Now, the overhead wires can be positioned where they were, and the sighting lines did not cross under the wires. So, you know, if it was a model, it wasn't hanging straight down under the wire.
The two photographs taken by Paul Trent provided a stereoscopic pair of pictures that gave researchers the data necessary to determine and measure distances to objects within a short range of the camera.
His altitude, or the altitude of the camera, also dropped by about a foot. So not only do you have a horizontal triangulation method, but you have a vertical triangulation method. Now, when you combine those two methods of distance determination, you can determine the distance to every short-range object in those photos. And the UFO model, if that's what it was, does not fit. It is not at the close range of those overhead wires that are about 15 feet away from the camera. They don't fit the locations and distance of the garage or the house, or the trees that were several hundred feet away in the background.
There's no indication that they actually, that this was a hoax, that the indications are totally that they actually saw some object flying past their farm and took two photographs of it.
In the 1960s, the U.S. Air Force contracted an outside scientific study of UFOs to be conducted by the University of Colorado. The astronomer William Hartman concluded that this is one of the few cases in which all of the geometric, photometric, and photogrammetric aspects agreed that there was an object, extraordinary object, tens of meters in size and metallic in appearance, about a mile away, which would seem to be consistent with